Today is a very special day because our youth group is going through a pretty big transition, and as excited as I am for some of the people that are going to be leaving and where they're going, what they're doing, it's very hard as a youth pastor. You pour your life into some of these guys, and then they are moving on to other things. Some of them obviously will still be around, but this is a major junction in their life, and so we want to honor them and just have a couple of words with them. So I'm gonna be introducing. There's a couple of people we're going to have come this morning. A couple of different things that are going to be said, but we're just going to start moving right along. We have some gifts for some of our seniors that are graduating, so I'm going to ask them to come up here and I'll share a little bit about them. Sterling, do come on up. Just gonna stand here a minute while I talk about you. Sterling is, yeah, you got it again. Sterling has been a part of our youth group for quite some time, and I'm very thankful for him. Him coming and being a part actually was one of the reasons why he drug his mom along and come and been a part of our church now. But Sterling is really, whether he's driving me crazy or whatever he's doing, there is something about Sterling that, yeah, I know. There is something about Sterling that has been really awesome as part of my life, and this is what you hope to see, because obviously as a youth pastor, you hope that you're just making a difference in their lives. You hope that you know, at some small part that I get to be a part. And Sterling is not only has he allowed me to be a part of his life, but he has become a part of mine. And one of the great things about Sterling, I shared this just on Friday, is that anytime that I said, hey Sterling, I need, and before I can even tell him what it is, there he is. Whether it be a number of things, Sterling has helped me pressure wash my house. He has helped me clean up stuff. He drove with me to Orlando to go van shopping, which was completely irrelevant. We drove around for like 8 hours and turned around and drove all the way back. But he was with the whole way, never complained, never nothing. And so Sterling is headed to the Marines soon. So as a church, we're very thankful that you've been here, whether it be Fajardo Youth Group, help and lead worship, what you've done. Yeah, he was my insanity motivator. We'd come and we'd work out together, and Sterling is, I'm telling you, this isn't an excellent thing. A lot of people, you know, don't do this well, but every time I've ever worked out, and I've worked out with Sterling, I've worked out about twice as hard as I've ever worked out before, simply because he is a good encourager when it comes to that kind of stuff. Not yelling and screaming and spitting, just, hey, you're slacking, let's go. So, Sterling, this gift is for you from the church. All right, Dalton, come on up, man. This young man is Dalton Pollard. I've known him for quite some time. He was one of my students all the way back to middle school. We, ever since then, he's never stopped talking about the Pittsburgh Steelers. Okay, I could literally be in class and be like, just, you know, that point as a teacher where you're talking about Christ and you just nail it and you just say that one line. I'm like, this is why we believe. And Dalton just raises his hand and I'm like, oh, this is going to be awesome. And I'm like, Dalton, and he's like, who do you think's going to win this weekend? The Jaguars or the Steelers? Dalton has grown up a lot over the last couple of years, and he's come back and been a part of our youth group for the last year. And I tell you what, you see that chair where he was sitting, very faithfully has been there Wednesday night, Sunday morning for a really long time, and it's been awesome to see him come from you know, where he was and got in a little bit of trouble and decided that, you know what, this is not the life that God has for me. I hope you recognize that he is a child of the one true King, and that God is not done with him yet. He too is getting ready to leave us. He is going to play football up north, way up north. And so I should have got him some long johns. I'm sure he'll be packing them. But I am very appreciative of you coming back and being a part and being a leader in our group, just with your very presence and showing that, hey, you know what? He shared some stories along the way. And he has helped all of us out. So with that being said, Dalton Paul, everybody. George, Sandy, come on up. Elizabeth has come to join us this past year. She came down to stay with family, and it has been awesome getting to know her. We went on our senior spring break trip, and everybody got to know her a little bit better. But I'm just so thankful. She's got a great heart, and it's been good. She's from Kentucky, which is a part of where my heart is, and so it's really cool to have gotten to know her. But we are very blessed that she's been a part, and getting ready to head back to Kentucky, attending the University of Louisville, correct? So we are very excited for that. As long as she makes it to class on time. It is a little bit of torture when they make 12th grade Bible first period at 8 o'clock. So all year I've been telling Elizabeth that class starts at 7:45. She'll make it. But you were on time this morning, and that is what I needed. God bless you, Elizabeth. Georgia! Now you know I have to tell the Let's Go Georgia story all over again, don't you? I have to. Georgia, as all of these students, are very special to me, but some of them have just very special spots in your heart. The first time I met Georgia, I think it was Rocky gave me a phone call and said, hey, our exchange, this was 2 years ago, our exchange student is here. I was just getting ready to start summer camp, and they're like, we would really love if she could just interact with some people. I'm like, well, this would be great. I got a bunch of obnoxious, elementary school kids who will just love her to death. So they're like, where are you? I'm like, I'm at the bowling alley. So they came and dropped her off at the bowling alley, and she just walked in. I have no idea what she was thinking, okay? But this is the day that she met me and all of these people, so she didn't know me. So I'm like, Georgia, come on in. Just come bowl right here. Here you go. And so she just jumped right in. I don't know if she'd actually spoken yet, okay? So Georgia comes in, she's bowling, and sure enough, my crazy kids were going nuts. There's no running in the bowling alley, and this is a big deal. So I had to go discipline some kids. I'm all the way down here in this. Georgia's right here. And as I'm walking down in my steady speed, I'm walking down, and as I'm cruising right by, I see George about to bowl. And so I'm thinking, hey, let's encourage her in the Lord. So in my encouragement, as loud as I could be, I go, let's go, Georgia! And just kept on going my merry way, okay? The next thing I know, as I'm walking this way, there are a bunch of people looking at me with weird faces, as if someone is pursuing me. So as I turn around, here is Georgia with these big eyes following me, because I said, let's go, Georgia! Her English and her understanding of the English language has come a long way. But my love for Georgia has grown as we have been sharing music lately. She asked me a while ago if I would start teaching her the guitar, and so we started taking guitar lessons. And sure enough, like most of the people that I share guitar with, I get them started and then they just blow me away, and then they show up for guitar lessons. I'm like, look, I've got nothing else to show you because you've surpassed me, okay? And Georgia is definitely one of those people. But I had an amazing time. She's getting ready to go back to China for the summer, but she will be returning. I told her very much that her home is here, and so we send you with this. And I'm very thankful for our time. I look forward to your return.
Amen.
All right, Brian, come on up, man. Brian writes. Brian has been a leader in our youth group, whether he knows it or not, just simply by being here. He is a senior this year. Was one of the stars of the football team for Seacoast. And I'm very appreciative for Brian. He's an excellent musician. And with all of the worship that we've been doing this year at Seacoast, I've always been able to count on him for everything as a rock. And so, but not just as a rock in his ability to play, because that's a gift all in itself. But in his love for the Lord and his leadership, his quiet leadership, he has been able to help me lead people and guide people through worship. And I am so thankful. We've got a bunch of rowdy, obnoxious seniors who like to be wild and crazy this year. But here's one of the cool things. Brian has been a part of this group, yet I've always known that the group has been pretty safe, because if they're with Brian, then I know that if someone decides to, hey, let's go do something dumb, Brian will bring them back to reality, okay? And say, okay, that sounds like fun, but let's make sure that, what we're doing is following the rules and, honoring God with that. So I've been very thankful for that and everything that he has done. And so, as coming and being part of our youth group, it was a really big deal, because, he was a part of a youth group and, all that kind of stuff. But what was really cool was this, that, when he said why he wanted to be part of our youth group was because of connecting with others and just being able to learn the Word. And so that kind of helped me understand that, man, you know what? Just the fact that there's any place. He was free. I know his family is a part of another church, but he wanted to come and be a part of this youth group because of the way that we connect with each other and the way that the Word is taught. And so that was a big deal to me, telling us that we were doing something right, that he would come and want to be a part of that. So we are very glad to have you, and we are very glad to send you off on your way. Ladies and gentlemen, Brian Wright.